I pay your salary with my taxes. You work for me, old man. Those words hang in the Providence Municipal Court like a bomb that just went off. Judge Frank Caprio sits at his bench. His face doesn't move, but his eyes tell a different story. The person who just said those words is Brendan Whitmore. He's 19 years old. He has 3 million followers on social media. His hair is bleached platinum blonde. It's styled with products that cost more than the bailiff makes in a week. He's wearing a Balenciaga hoodie. The price tag is still attached. It says $890. Around his neck hangs a diamond chain. The diamonds catch the light every time he moves. On his wrist sits an Audemars Piguet watch. That's $45,000 right there. His shoes are off-white Jordans. Limited edition. He paid $2,300 for them from a reseller. Brendan is recording this moment. His phone is in his hand. He's live streaming to his followers. Guys, this is so stupid, he whispers to the camera. His thumb hovers over the screen. Hearts and fire emojis flood the comments. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, no matter how many followers they have, you'll want to see what happens next. The clerk stands up. Her name is Mrs. Patricia Gomez. She's worked in this court for 22 years. She's seen everything, but her hands shake slightly as she reads the case number. Case 2025 TR 91847. State of Rhode Island versus Brendan James Whitmore. Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Whitmore, I asked you to put your phone away. Brendan doesn't look up. He's still recording. Chill. My followers need to see this. It's content. Behind Brendan sits the reason this case exists. Her name is Rosa Delgado. She's 52 years old. She works as a nurse at Rhode Island Hospital. She's been a nurse for 28 years. Her scrubs are faded from 1,000 washes. Her shoes are worn at the heels. She can't afford new ones yet. She's saving every dollar she can. Why? Her daughter Maria is in college. Community college. Rosa works the night shift. She works double shifts when she can. She picks up extra hours on holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve. Whenever the hospital needs someone, Rosa is there. Rosa is in court because of a parking ticket. Actually, 3 parking tickets. She parked in a loading zone outside the hospital. 3 different times. Each time, she was running late for her shift. The bus was delayed. If she missed her shift, patients would suffer. The understaffed ward needed her. So she parked illegally, just for her 12-hour shift. Then she'd move her car. The tickets total $375. That's groceries for a month. That's half her electric bill. That's the textbook her daughter needs for spring semester. Rosa sits with her hands folded in her lap. Her eyes are red. She's been crying. Not here. Before. In her car. She doesn't want anyone to see. She's embarrassed. She's never been in trouble before. Ever. Not even a speeding ticket. She pays her taxes. She follows the rules. But sometimes, life doesn't give you good choices. Only hard ones. Judge Caprio looks at the case file. Ms. Delgado, I see you're here for 3 parking violations. Total fine of $375 plus court fees. Is that correct? Rosa stands up. Her voice is quiet. Yes, Your Honor. Can you tell me what happened? Rosa takes a breath. Your Honor, I work at the hospital. The night shift. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sometimes the bus is late. I can't be late for my shift. We're understaffed. If I don't show up, my patients don't have enough care. So I parked in the loading zone. I knew it was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll pay the fine. I just need time. I can pay $50 a month. If that's okay. Her voice cracks on the last word. She sits down quickly. Judge Caprio nods. He's heard stories like this before. Too many times. I understand, Ms. Delgado. We'll come back to your case in a moment. That's when the courtroom doors burst open. Brendan Whitmore walks in. Actually, walks isn't the right word. He struts. Like he owns the place. His phone is already out. He's filming. Yo, what's up, guys? We're in actual court right now. This is wild. They're trying to find me for some BS. The bailiff steps forward. His name is Officer Michael Torres. He's been a bailiff for 15 years. Sir, you need to put your phone away. Now. Brendan rolls his eyes. Relax, dude. It's 2025. Everyone films everything. He doesn't put the phone away. He pans the camera around the courtroom. He films Rosa. He films the clerk. He films the judge. This is Judge Caprio, guys. He's like famous or whatever. We're about to see if he's actually fair, or just another boomer on a power trip. The people in the courtroom go silent. A woman in the third row gasps. A man shakes his head. Someone whispers, "Did he just call the judge a boomer?" Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change. "Mr. Whitmore, this is your first and only warning. Put your phone away, or Officer Torres will confiscate it." Brendan laughs. It's not a nice laugh. It's the laugh of someone who's never been told no. "You can't take my phone. That's like illegal. First Amendment. Free speech. I know my rights." Judge Caprio speaks calmly. "The First Amendment doesn't apply to courtroom proceedings in the way you think it does. You're disrupting this court. Put the phone away." Brendan sighs. It's dramatic. Like a teenager being asked to clean his room. "Fine. Whatever." He shoves the phone in his pocket. But he doesn't turn it off. The camera is still recording. You can see the light through the fabric. Officer Torres notices. But Judge Caprio raises a hand. "Not yet. Let this play out. Mr. Whitmore, please approach the bench." Brendan walks forward. His shoes squeak on the floor. Squeak. 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 Each step costs more than Rosa makes in a day. "Do you know why you're here?" Brendan shrugs. "Some ticket. I don't even remember." The clerk reads the charge. Reckless driving. Excessive speed. Traveling 87 miles per hour in a posted 35-mile-per-hour zone. School zone. Children present. Failure to stop for police officer. Resisting arrest. The courtroom goes quiet. School zone. Children present. Brendan waves his hand. "That's dramatic. I was going like 60. Maybe 70. The cop exaggerated." Judge Caprio looks at the file. "The radar gun clocked you at 87 miles per hour. On Broad Street. Outside Roger Williams Elementary School. At 3:15 p.m. School dismissal time. There's body camera footage." "Whatever. I was late for a brand deal meeting. Time is money, you know." A woman in the gallery stands up. She's a mother. Her son goes to Roger Williams Elementary. "My kid was crossing that street. You could have killed him." The bailiff moves toward her. "Ma'am, please sit down." She sits, but her hands are shaking. From anger. From fear. From the realization that her son could have died because someone couldn't be bothered to slow down. Judge Caprio continues. "It says here that when Officer Chen attempted to pull you over, you didn't stop for 1.3 miles. Is that accurate?" Brendan shrugs again. "I thought he was just trying to get past me. Besides, I was on the phone with my manager. Important call." "You were on the phone while driving 87 miles per hour through a school zone." "I was using Bluetooth. That's legal." Judge Caprio closes his eyes for a moment. He's asking for patience. "From somewhere. Anywhere. Mr. Whitmore, when you finally stopped, what happened?" Brendan smirks. "The cop was super aggressive. Started yelling at me. I told him who I was. He didn't care. Power trip. Typical." The clerk pulls up the body camera footage. "Your Honor, we have the video queued up if you'd like to review it." "Let's see it." The screen on the wall flickers to life. The footage starts. You see Officer Chen's perspective. He's walking up to a cherry red Porsche 911 GT3. The car costs $185,000. The license plate says INFLUENZR. With AZ. Because the normal spelling was taken. Officer Chen knocks on the window. "Sir, turn off the vehicle and step out of the car." The window rolls down halfway. Brendan's voice comes through. "Do you know who I am?" "Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle." "I'm Brendan Whitmore. 3 million followers. Check Instagram. I'm verified." "Sir, this is your final warning. Step out of the vehicle." Brendan's voice changes. It gets harder. Meaner. "My lawyer is going to destroy you. I have everything on camera. You're going viral for all the wrong reasons, buddy." Officer Chen remains calm. Professional. "Sir, you were traveling 87 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour school zone. You endangered the lives of children. Step out of the vehicle now, or I will remove you." That's when Brendan's door opens. He gets out. Slowly. Like he's doing Officer Chen a favor. "This is harassment. I'm literally being targeted for being successful." The footage continues. Officer Chen asks for license and registration. Brendan throws them at him. Actually throws them. The cards hit Officer Chen's chest and fall to the ground. "Oops," Brendan says. He's smiling. The courtroom watches in silence. This is damning. This is worse than anyone expected. The footage shows Officer Chen picking up the documents. Mr. Whitmore, I'm citing you for reckless driving, excessive speed, failure to obey a traffic officer, and disorderly conduct. Cool. My dad will take care of it. He always does. Your father isn't here. You are. Brendan laughs. You have no idea who my father is. I don't care who your father is. That's when Brendan says it. Right there on camera. You will. Everyone will. One phone call and you're directing traffic in the worst part of town. The video ends. Judge Caprio looks at Brendan. Do you remember saying that? Brendan shifts his weight. For the first time, he looks uncomfortable. I was stressed. People say things when they're stressed. Did you mean it? I don't know. Maybe. My dad does know the police commissioner. Judge Caprio makes a note. We'll come back to that. The clerk speaks up. Your Honor, there's more. After this incident, we received multiple phone calls. For calls to the clerk's office. 2 calls to the prosecutor. 1 call to the mayor's office. All from different people. All requesting that this case be dismissed or reduced. Who made these calls? The clerk reads from her notes. Robert Whitmore. That's the defendant's father. He's the CEO of Whitmore Capital Management. Catherine Ashford. She's a city council member. David Park. He's an attorney at Preston and Lee. And Father Malcolm Gregory from St. Augustine's Church. Judge Caprio raises his eyebrows. A priest called. Yes, Your Honor. The Whitmore family are major donors to the church. Father Gregory said it would be a shame to ruin a young man's future over a simple traffic violation. Brendan grins. He thinks this helps him. See? People know I'm a good person. Judge Caprio doesn't smile. Mr. Whitmore, do you understand what those phone calls represent? People supporting me? Attempted corruption of the judicial process. The grin disappears. Judge Caprio continues. Every single one of those calls was inappropriate. They were attempts to influence this court's decision based on your family's wealth and connections. Not based on the facts of the case. Not based on justice. Based on money and power. Brendan's face turns red. That's not fair. I can't control what other people do. Did you ask them to make those calls? Silence. Mr. Whitmore, I asked you a question. Did you ask anyone to call this court on your behalf? Brendan looks at his shoes. The expensive shoes. My dad asked if I wanted him to handle it. I said sure. So you knew these calls were being made? I guess. You guess or you knew? I knew. Judge Caprio writes something down. Thank you for your honesty. That's when Brendan makes his first big mistake. Look, Your Honor, I respect what you're trying to do here. But can we just speed this up? I have a sponsorship meeting at 4. It's with Bang Energy. 6-figure deal. I can't miss it. A man in the gallery laughs. It's not a happy laugh. It's a bitter laugh. The laugh of someone who works 2 jobs and still can't afford rent. Judge Caprio looks at Brendan. Really looks at him. Mr. Whitmore, do you see that woman sitting behind you? Brendan turns around. He sees Rosa. Yeah. That's Ms. Rosa Delgado. She's a nurse. She works the night shift at Rhode Island Hospital. She's here because she got 3 parking tickets. She parked illegally because she couldn't afford to be late for her shift. Her patients needed her. She's trying to figure out how to pay $375 in fines while supporting her daughter through college. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Brendan looks confused. Not really. What does she have to do with my case? She's here in this court worried about how to pay for parking tickets. You're here because you drove 87 miles per hour through a school zone and endangered children's lives. Then you tried to intimidate a police officer. Then your family tried to corrupt the judicial process. And you're worried about missing a meeting for an energy drink commercial. Brendan's face hardens. So what? I worked hard for what I have. The courtroom goes silent. Even the clock stops ticking. Or maybe it just feels that way. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. Tell me, Mr. Whitmore, what work did you do to earn your Porsche? I built my brand. 3 million followers doesn't happen by accident. How did you start your social media account? Brendan hesitates. I posted videos. What kind of videos? Travel, lifestyle, fashion. And how did you afford to travel? To buy designer clothes? To build that lifestyle? Brendan's jaw tightens. My parents helped. Helped how? They gave me money to invest in my content. How much money? I don't know. Maybe $50,000 to start. A woman in the back row whispers to her husband, $50,000. We don't have $50 extra. Judge Caprio continues. So your parents gave you $50,000. Then what? I bought camera equipment. Nice clothes. I traveled. I made content. People liked it. I grew my following. And where did you live while you were building this brand? At home. Did you pay rent? No. Did you pay for food? No. Did you pay for your car insurance? Your phone bill? Your health insurance? Brendan's voice gets quieter. No. So your parents funded your entire life while you built a social media following. They believed in me. I'm sure they did. But do you understand that what you're describing is privilege? Not hard work. Privilege. The privilege of having parents who could afford to give you $50,000 and support you completely while you figure out how to make money on Instagram. Brendan's face turns red again. But this time it's not embarrassment. It's anger. I still worked hard. I post every day. I respond to comments. I do brand deals. That's work. Ms. Delgado works 12-hour shifts on her feet. She lifts patients. She changes bedpans. She holds the hands of dying people. She does this 4 or 5 nights a week. Then she goes home and sleeps for a few hours. Then she does it again. That's work. Brendan crosses his arms. Cool speech. Are we almost done here? That's mistake number 2. Judge Caprio's voice drops lower. Colder. No, Mr. Whitmore. We're not almost done. We're just getting started. The clerk pulls up more evidence. Your Honor, we also have screenshots from the defendant's social media accounts, posted on the day of the incident. The screen changes. It shows Brendan's Instagram story, posted at 3:47 p.m. That's 32 minutes after he was pulled over. The image shows Brendan in his car. He's making a face, rolling his eyes. The text says, just got pulled over by a cop on a power trip. Some people hate success. Video coming soon. The next slide shows a TikTok video, posted at 4:15 p.m. Brendan is in the video. He's reenacting the traffic stop, but in his version, he's the victim. He's mocking Officer Chun. He makes his voice high and squeaky. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir, you're under arrest. Then he talks in his normal voice. Bro was so mad that I drive a Porsche and he drives a Crown Vic. The video has 1.2 million views. The comments are a mix. Some people support Brendan. Cops always hate on successful people. Others call him out. You were going 87 in a school zone. You could have killed someone. The final piece of evidence is a text message thread. The prosecutor received the screenshots from Officer Chun. The messages are between Brendan and someone saved as Dad. Dad, did you get pulled over? Brendan, yeah. Some cop with an attitude problem. Dad, what did you do? Brendan, I was speeding. School zone. But whatever. Dad, how fast? Brendan, like 80-something. Dad, Brendan, that's serious. Brendan, can you make it go away? I don't have time for court. Dad, I'll make some calls. Don't post about it. Brendan, already did. It's good content. Dad, take it down. Brendan, no way. It's already viral. The timestamp on these messages is 4:52 p.m., the same day as the incident. Judge Caprio looks at Brendan. So you knew your father was going to make calls to fix this, and you posted about the incident anyway, even though your father asked you not to. Brendan shrugs. Content is content. My followers expect daily posts. Your followers are more important than respecting the legal process. I mean, yeah, they're my career. The woman in the third row stands up again. She can't help it. Your career? I have a career too. I'm a teacher. I make $42,000 a year. I can't speed through school zones and expect my rich daddy to fix it. The bailiff moves toward her again. Ma'am, please. She sits down, but she's crying now. From frustration, from anger, from the unfairness of it all. Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. Everyone, please. I understand emotions are high, but we must maintain order. He turns back to Brendan. Mr. Whitmore, I want to ask you something, and I want you to think before you answer. Do you believe the rules that apply to everyone else should apply to you? Brendan thinks for a moment. Honestly, I think the rules are outdated. Like, speed limits were made in the 1900s when cars were slower. My Porsche has modern brakes. Advanced safety features. I'm a good driver. I've never been in an accident. You've never been in an accident because you've been lucky. Not because you're a good driver. Good drivers don't go 87 miles per hour in school zones. I had it under control. Under control? Mr. Whitmore, at 87 miles per hour, if a child had run into the street, you would have needed 327 feet to stop. That's longer than a football field. Do you know how much space you actually had? Brendan says nothing. The prosecutor stands up. Her name is Amanda Chun. She's Officer Chen's sister. She's been a prosecutor for 8 years. Your Honor, the school zone is on a residential street. The speed limit is 35 because there are houses, driveways, crosswalks. The defendant would have had approximately 150 feet of visibility. Even with the best brakes in the world, he would have hit anyone in his path. The impact at that speed would have been fatal. Brendan interrupts. But I didn't hit anyone, so this is all hypothetical. Prosecutor Chen's voice shakes. Slightly. You didn't hit anyone because a crossing guard saw you coming. Mrs. Deborah Martinez. She's worked as a crossing guard at Roger Williams Elementary for 14 years. She heard your engine. She saw your car. She pushed 3 children back onto the sidewalk. She saved their lives. You didn't. She did. Brendan rolls his eyes. Okay, so everyone is fine. Can we move on? That's mistake number 3. Judge Caprio stands up. He rarely stands, but he stands now. Bailiff, please ask Mrs. Martinez to come in. The courtroom door opens. A woman walks in. She's in her late 60s. She's wearing her crossing guard uniform. A bright yellow vest. A stop sign in her hand. She's small. Maybe 5 feet tall. Maybe 100 pounds. But she walks with the confidence of someone who's seen things. Done things. Mrs. Martinez sits in the witness chair. Judge Caprio speaks gently. Mrs. Martinez, thank you for coming. Can you tell us what happened on October 17th at approximately 3:15 p.m.? Mrs. Martinez nods. Her voice is steady. I was at my post, corner of Broad Street and Elm. I helped the children cross after school. That day, 3 kids were waiting. 2nd graders. They were talking about their day. Excited. Happy. The light was red. They had the walk signal. They started to cross. She pauses. Takes a breath. I heard an engine. Loud. Getting louder. I looked up. I saw a red car. Coming fast. Too fast. The light was red. But the car wasn't slowing down. I knew. I just knew. So I grabbed the kids. I pulled them back. Hard. The car blew through the intersection. Right through. If those kids had been in the street, they would be dead. That's not dramatic. That's fact. The courtroom is silent. Completely silent. You could hear a pin drop. Judge Caprio asks, did the car stop? No, sir. It kept going. Like nothing happened. Did you get a look at the driver? Yes, sir. Young man. Blonde hair. On his phone. Is that man in this courtroom? Mrs. Martinez looks at Brendan. Her eyes are hard. That's him. Brendan's face goes pale. Hold on. The light wasn't red. It was yellow. Prosecutor Chin pulls up more evidence. Your Honor, we have traffic camera footage. Time stamped. The light was red for 4.3 seconds before the defendant entered the intersection. The video plays. It's clear. The light is red. Brendan's car doesn't slow down. It blasts through. 2 seconds later, 3 children would have been in his path. Mrs. Martinez continues. One of those kids was my grandson, Tyler. He's 7 years old. He wants to be a firefighter when he grows up. Her voice breaks. Just for a second. Then she steadies it. I think about that day every night. What if I hadn't heard the engine? What if I hadn't looked up? What if I was helping another child and didn't see? Tyler wouldn't be here. Neither would Mason or Zoe. 3 families destroyed. Because someone couldn't wait. Brendan opens his mouth. Then closes it. For the first time, he has nothing to say. Judge Caprio sits back down. Mrs. Martinez, thank you. I know this wasn't easy. She stands up. As she walks past Brendan, she stops. She looks at him. I hope you understand how close you came to ending 3 lives. I hope you think about Tyler. Mason, Zoe. I hope you see their faces when you close your eyes. Then she leaves. The courtroom is heavy. The air feels thick. Everyone is processing what they just heard. Brendan finally speaks. His voice is smaller now. I didn't see them. I swear. I didn't know. Judge Caprio's voice is firm. You didn't see them because you weren't looking. You were on your phone. You were speeding. You were thinking about your meeting, your brand deal, your content. You weren't thinking about anyone else. I made a mistake. Yes, you did. A mistake that almost killed 3 children. Brendan looks like he's going to cry, but he doesn't. Instead, he gets angry. Why are you being so hard on me? People make mistakes. I said I'm sorry. You didn't say you're sorry. You said you made a mistake. Those are different things. Fine. I'm sorry. Is that what you want to hear? Judge Caprio shakes his head. I don't want to hear anything. I want you to understand. I want you to feel the weight of what you did. I want you to grasp that your actions have consequences. That's when Brendan says it. The thing that changes everything. The nuclear moment. He's frustrated. He's cornered. He's not used to being held accountable. So he says the worst possible thing. You know what? This whole thing is a joke. You're a joke. This court is a joke. I pay more in taxes than you make in a year. I pay your salary with my taxes. You work for me, old man. So how about you drop this lecture and let me get back to my actual life? The courtroom explodes. Someone gasps. Someone shouts. A man in the back yells, "Are you kidding me right now?" The bailiff moves forward. Officer Torres's hand moves to his handcuffs. Rosa starts crying. Not because she's sad. Because she's working herself to death. And this kid thinks the world owes him something. The teacher who stood up before stands again. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Order. Everyone sit down. Now. The courtroom settles. Barely. Judge Caprio looks at Brendan. His face is calm. Too calm. Mr. Whitmore, what did you just say? Brendan realizes his mistake. I didn't mean. What did you say? I was just. Repeat what you said. Word for word. Brendan's voice shakes. I said you work for me. Because I pay taxes. And what else did you call me? Silence. You called me an old man. Is that correct? Brendan nods. Mr. Whitmore, let me educate you on something. I don't work for you. I work for the people of Rhode Island. All of them. The nurse who can't afford parking tickets. The crossing guard who saves lives for $14 an hour. The teacher who spends her own money on classroom supplies. The single dad working 2 jobs. The veteran sleeping in his car. I work for them. Not for you. Judge Caprio stands again. This time, he walks around the bench. He comes down to Brendan's level. He's shorter than Brendan. Older. But in this moment, he's a giant. You said you pay my salary. Let me tell you something about taxes. You paid $127,000 in federal income tax last year. That's a lot of money. Most people will never see that much in a year. But do you know how much your father paid? $5 million. Do you know how he made that money? He manages other people's money. He didn't build anything. He didn't cure any diseases. He didn't teach any children. He moved numbers around on a computer. And the system rewarded him. Brendan tries to interrupt. Judge Caprio raises a hand. I'm not finished. Ms. Delgado, the nurse you ignored, paid $8,300 in federal taxes last year. That's money she needed. Money she could have used for her daughter's books, for her car repairs, for her own health. But she paid, because that's the deal. We all contribute. We all benefit. But here's the difference between you and her. She contributes her money and her service. She saves lives. You contribute money you didn't earn and expect everyone to bow down. The courtroom is frozen. Everyone is watching. Judge Caprio continues. You called me old. I'm 78 years old. I've been on this bench for 38 years. I've seen thousands of cases. Rich people, poor people, black, white, Latino, Asian, young, old. Do you know what I've learned in all those years? Brendan shakes his head. Money doesn't make you better. It makes you louder. That's all. You have a platform. 3 million people listen to you. Do you know what you could do with that? You could inspire people. Educate them. Help them. Instead, you teach them that rules don't matter. That money buys immunity. That other people are beneath you. Judge Caprio walks back to his bench. Mr. Whitmore, you asked if we're almost done. We're not. We're nowhere close. Because I'm going to make sure you understand something. In this courtroom, your followers don't matter. Your designer clothes don't matter. Your father's money doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is justice. Real justice. Equal justice. He picks up his gavel. Mr. Whitmore, you've been found responsible for multiple violations. Reckless driving, excessive speed in a school zone, running a red light, failure to obey a traffic officer, disorderly conduct, and now, contempt of court for your disrespectful behavior here today. Brendan's eyes go wide. Contempt? For what? For filming in my courtroom after being warned. For disrespecting this process. For your statement that I work for you. That's contempt. Clear and obvious contempt. Judge Caprio looks at his notes. Then he looks at Brendan. Here is your sentence. I'm going to break it down piece by piece, so you understand exactly what you've earned. The courtroom leans forward. First, financial penalties. For the traffic violations, I'm fining you $12,500. That's the maximum allowed by law. You'll also pay $3,200 in court costs and a $500 contempt fine. Total, $16,200. Payment due in full within 30 days. Brendan relaxes slightly. He has that money. That's nothing to him. Judge Caprio sees this. You think that's all? We're just starting. Second, license suspension. Your driver's license is suspended for 1 full year. 365 days. No driving. Not your Porsche. Not your dad's Mercedes. Not even a bicycle on public roads. You want to get somewhere? Walk. Take the bus. Ask for a ride. Like everyone else. Brendan's face falls. A year? How am I supposed to get around? Figure it out. Ms. Delgado takes the bus every day. You can too. Third, community service. This is the important part. So listen carefully. The courtroom goes quiet. You will complete 300 hours of community service. Not 50 hours. Not 100 hours. 300 hours. And here's where you'll complete them. You will work as a crossing guard at Roger Williams Elementary School. The same school where you almost killed 3 children. You'll work under the direct supervision of Mrs. Deborah Martinez, the woman whose grandson you almost killed. Brendan's mouth opens. You can't be serious. I am completely serious. You'll report to Mrs. Martinez every school day, Monday through Friday, 2:45 p.m. to 4 p.m. You'll wear a yellow vest. You'll hold a stop sign. You'll help children cross the street safely, the way you should have been driving. That's humiliating. Yes, it is. That's the point. Judge Caprio continues. You'll work in your normal clothes. No designer brands allowed. Plain t-shirt, jeans, regular shoes. I don't want you representing expensive brands while you're paying your debt to society. And the yellow vest? It will say community service on the back. Big letters. So everyone knows why you're there. Brendan looks like he's going to be sick. You'll work rain or shine, snow or heat. If Mrs. Martinez is there, you're there. If you're sick, you need a doctor's note. If you miss a day without excuse, your 300 hours start over from 0. That's insane. No, Mr. Whitmore. What's insane is driving 87 miles per hour past children. This is justice. Judge Caprio looks at his notes again. Fourth, written apology. You will write a letter of apology. By hand. No typing. No lawyer drafting it. Your hand. Your words. You'll write 1 letter to Officer Chun for disrespecting him. 1 letter to Mrs. Martinez for endangering her grandson. 1 letter to the parents of Tyler, Mason, and Zoe. 1 letter to Ms. Delgado for your behavior today. And 1 letter to this court. That's 5 letters. Yes. And they will each be at least 500 words. Handwritten. Sincere. I'll review them personally. If they're not genuine, you'll write them again. Brendan slumps in his chair. Fifth, public accountability. You will create a public service announcement. A video. You'll post it to all your social media accounts. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of them. In this video, you'll explain what you did, why it was wrong, what you've learned, and you'll encourage your followers to drive safely, to respect authority, to think of others. My followers will destroy me. Then you'll learn another lesson about accountability. Judge Caprio isn't done. The video must be at least 3 minutes long. It must stay posted for a minimum of 60 days. If you delete it early, you'll create a new one, and the 60 days start over. This is going to ruin my brand. Your brand is already ruined. You ruined it yourself. When you posted that video mocking Officer Chun. When you drove recklessly. When you showed the world that you care more about views than lives. Brendan's hands are shaking now. 6th. Probation. You'll be on supervised probation for 2 years. You'll meet with a probation officer once a month. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing. If you fail a test, you go to jail. If you miss an appointment, you go to jail. If you get arrested for anything, even a parking ticket, you go to jail. 7th. Education requirement. You'll take a defensive driving course. 8 hours. In person. With other people who've made mistakes. You'll learn about stopping distances. Reaction times. The physics of car accidents. What happens to a human body when it's hit by a car going 87 miles per hour. Brendan is pale now. Ghost pale. You'll also attend a victim impact panel. You'll sit in a room and listen to people whose lives were destroyed by reckless drivers. Parents who lost children. Children who lost parents. Survivors with permanent injuries. You'll hear their stories. And you'll think about how close you came to creating more stories just like them. Judge Caprio pauses. He lets this sink in. 8th. Social media monitoring. As part of your probation, I'm ordering that your social media accounts be monitored. You'll provide access to your probation officer. If you post anything that glorifies reckless behavior, you'll be in violation. If you post anything disrespectful about this court, these proceedings, or anyone involved, you'll be in violation. If you turn this into content, you'll be in violation. That's a violation of my free speech. No, it's a condition of your probation. You can accept it, or you can go to jail. Your choice. Brendan says nothing. And 9th. Contempt sentence. For your behavior in this courtroom today, you will serve 15 days in the adult correctional institutions. That's jail, Mr. Whitmore. Real jail. You'll report to Officer Torres after these proceedings. He'll transport you. You'll be processed, fingerprinted, photographed, strip searched, given a uniform, and you'll spend the next 15 days thinking about respect. The courtroom erupts again. This time it's different. People are cheering, clapping. Someone yells, "Yes." Brendan stands up. "You can't do this. My lawyer will appeal. My dad will." Judge Caprio slams his gavel. The sound echoes like a gunshot. Your dad will do nothing. Your lawyer can appeal. That's your right. But until an appeals court says otherwise, my ruling stands. Officer Torres, take Mr. Whitmore into custody. The bailiff moves forward. He's been waiting for this moment. Your Honor, please. Brendan's voice cracks. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. You meant every word. But now you'll have 15 days to think about it. Officer Torres pulls out handcuffs. The metal glints under the courtroom lights. Hands behind your back, Mr. Whitmore. Brendan's hands shake as he complies. Click, click. The handcuffs close. He's never been in handcuffs before. Never been told what to do. Never been stripped of control. Tears run down his face. This isn't fair. I made a mistake. One mistake. Judge Caprio's voice is firm. You made multiple mistakes. The speeding was a mistake. Running the red light was a mistake. Disrespecting Officer Chun was a choice. Mocking this process on social media was a choice. Telling me I work for you was a choice. And choices have consequences. Brendan is crying openly now. Not quiet tears. Loud sobs. His expensive hoodie is soaked. His platinum hair is a mess. His watch catches the light one last time. Then he's led away. The courtroom door closes behind him. For a moment, no one speaks. Then Rosa raises her hand. Your Honor. Judge Caprio looks at her. His expression softens. Yes, Ms. Delgado. What about my case? Judge Caprio smiles. It's a kind smile. A grandfather's smile. Your parking tickets. Total $375. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. I'm dismissing them. All 3. You don't owe anything. Rosa's eyes go wide. Your Honor, I can pay. I just need time. Ms. Delgado, you parked illegally because you were rushing to help people. Sick people. Dying people. You work nights. You sacrifice sleep. You sacrifice time with your daughter. You do this to serve others. The City of Providence can absorb the cost of 3 parking tickets. You're dismissed. Case closed. Rosa starts crying. But these are different tears. Relief. Gratitude. Joy. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much. She stands up. She's shaking. The teacher who yelled earlier hugs her. So does the woman in the 3rd row. Strangers, united by this moment. Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. I want everyone here to remember something. Justice isn't about punishment for its own sake. It's about balance. It's about accountability. It's about making sure that everyone, rich or poor, famous or unknown, follows the same rules. Mr. Whitmore forgot that. Or maybe he never learned it. But he'll learn it now. The courtroom empties slowly. People talk in hushed voices. Some are satisfied. Some are shocked. Some are just glad they're not in Brendan's shoes. 8 weeks pass. The adult detention center is not what Brendan expected. It's loud. It smells. The bed is hard. The food is terrible. No one cares that he has 3 million followers. No one cares about his brand deals. No one asks for selfies. He's released after 15 days. His parents pick him up. His mother cries. His father is silent. The ride home is uncomfortable. Brendan spends the next few weeks processing. He meets with his probation officer, a man named Derek Williams. Derek is 45 years old. He's been a probation officer for 20 years. He's seen everything. Son, let me tell you something, Derek says at their first meeting. You have a choice right now. You can be angry. You can fight this. You can feel sorry for yourself. Or you can learn. You can grow. You can become better. That's up to you. Brendan chooses to learn. At first, it's because he has no choice. But slowly, something changes. His first day as a crossing guard is humiliating. He shows up in plain clothes. Mrs. Martinez is there. She hands him the vest. The stop sign. You'll stand here, she says. She points to the corner. When the light changes, you'll walk to the middle of the street. You'll hold up your sign. You'll make sure the cars stop. You'll help the children cross. Then you'll come back. Understand? Yes, ma'am. Good. And Mr. Whitmore? Yes. Those kids don't know who you are. They don't care. To them, you're just the crossing guard. That's it. So leave your ego at home. The first day, a few parents recognize him. They whisper. They point. They take photos. Brendan feels his face burn with embarrassment. But then, a little girl walks up. She's maybe 6 years old. She has pigtails and a frozen backpack. Hi, she says. Are you the new crossing guard? Brendan nods. Yeah, I'm Brendan. I'm Emma. Are you going to help me cross? That's my job. Emma smiles. Cool. The last crossing guard gave me high fives. Do you give high fives? Brendan looks at Mrs. Martinez. She nods slightly. Yeah, Brendan says. I can do high fives. Emma holds up her tiny hand. Brendan taps it with his. See you tomorrow. Emma skips away. Something in Brendan's chest cracks. Just a little. The days turn into weeks. Every afternoon, Brendan stands on that corner. He holds his sign. He helps kids cross. Rain soaks his plain t-shirt. His regular shoes get muddy. But he keeps showing up. He learns the kids' names. Emma, Jaden, Sophia, Marcus, Lily. They don't care about his followers. They care about whether he'll be there. Whether he'll keep them safe. One day, Mrs. Martinez pulls him aside. You're doing better. The kids like you. Thank you. I'm still angry with you. For what you did. For what almost happened. I understand. But I can see you're trying. That counts for something. The defensive driving course is eye-opening. Brendan sits in a classroom with 9 other people. A woman who hit a pedestrian while texting. A man who got his 3rd DUI. A teenager who crashed into a telephone pole. The instructor shows videos. Crash test dummies. Real accidents. The science of impact. Brendan learns that at 35 miles per hour, a pedestrian has a 50% chance of survival if hit. At 45 miles per hour, that drops to 10%. At 87 miles per hour? 0. Flat 0. He sees a video of a crash reconstruction. A car going 80 miles per hour hits a vehicle that pulled out from a driveway. The impact is devastating. Metal crumples like paper. Glass explodes. The people inside die instantly. The instructor pauses the video. This is what speed does. This is why we have limits. Not to inconvenience you. To save lives. Brendan thinks about Tyler. Mason. Zoe. How close he came. The victim impact panel is worse. Brendan sits in a circle with 8 other offenders. 5 speakers come in. All of them have been affected by reckless driving. The first speaker is a man named Robert. His daughter Jessica was killed by a drunk driver. She was 19 years old. A college sophomore. She was driving home from study group. A man going 90 miles per hour ran a red light. Jessica's car was hit on the driver's side. She died at the scene. Robert shows a picture. Jessica is smiling. She's wearing a cap and gown. It's her high school graduation. This is the last photo we have of her happy, Robert says. His voice is steady, but his hands shake. The next photos are from the hospital, from the funeral. Those aren't the ones we look at. He describes the moment he got the call, the drive to the hospital, the doctor telling him Jessica didn't make it, his wife's scream, his son's confusion. Jessica was going to be a teacher, Robert says. She loved kids. She volunteered at an after-school program. She was kind, funny, smart. And one person's choice ended all of that. One choice. 5 seconds of selfishness. Robert looks at the offenders. Some of you are here because you did something similar. You drove reckless. You drank and drove. You texted. You sped. You thought it wouldn't happen to you. You thought you were invincible. You were wrong. And someone paid the price. Maybe you got lucky and no one died. But you need to understand how close you came. Brendan cries during that panel. He's not the only one. By the end, everyone is crying. Even the hardened guy with 3 DUIs. Because the stories are real. The pain is real. The loss is real. On the 90th day of his community service, something happens. Brendan is standing at his corner, holding his sign. A car approaches. It's going too fast. Way too fast. The light turns red. The car doesn't slow down. Brendan's training kicks in. He sees 3 kids about to cross. He yells, "Stop! Stay back!" The kids freeze. The car blows through the intersection. Right where the kids would have been. Mrs. Martinez runs over. "Are you okay?" Brendan nods. His heart is pounding. His hands are shaking. That was good instinct. You saved them. Brendan looks at the kids. They're scared. But they're safe. Emma walks up to him. "That was scary." "I know. But you're okay. You listened. You stopped. You stopped us. You saved us." Brendan kneels down. "I level with Emma. That's my job. To keep you safe." Emma hugs him. She doesn't know his story. She doesn't know what brought him here. She just knows he protected her. That night, Brendan writes in his journal. It's something his therapist suggested. Writing down his thoughts. "Today I understood. I could have been that car. The one that didn't stop. I could have been the reason a little girl didn't come home. I could have been the reason a father sits in a support group and shows pictures of his daughter's graduation. I almost was. And I'll never forget how close I came." On day 180, Brendan posts his public service announcement. He's been dreading it, but it's required. So he films himself. No edits. No cuts. One take. "Hi. My name is Brendan Whitmore. You probably know me from my social media. But you might also know me from something else. A few months ago, I drove 87 miles per hour through a school zone. I ran a red light. I almost killed 3 children. I got arrested. I went to court. I was sentenced to 15 days in jail, 300 hours of community service, and a year without my license." He pauses, takes a breath. "I want to tell you why I'm making this video. It's not because I'm trying to save my reputation. My reputation is gone. I destroyed it myself. I'm making this because I need to. Because I need to say what I should have said from the beginning. I'm sorry. To Officer Chun. To Mrs. Martinez. To Tyler, Mason, and Zoe. To their families. To everyone I put at risk. I'm sorry." His voice cracks. "I thought I was invincible. I thought rules didn't apply to me. I thought my followers made me special. I was wrong. I was an entitled, selfish person who cared more about content than consequences. And I'm ashamed." He wipes his eyes. "For the past 6 months, I've been a crossing guard. Every day, I stand on a corner and help kids cross the street. At first, I hated it. I thought it was punishment. But it's not punishment. It's a gift. It's a chance to protect the lives I almost destroyed. And I've learned something. Those kids don't care about my followers. They care about whether I'll keep them safe. And that's what matters. Not likes. Not views. Lives." He looks directly at the camera. "If you follow me because you like my lifestyle content, unfollow me. I don't deserve your support. But if you stay, I promise to do better. I promise to use this platform for good. To spread messages about safety, responsibility, respect, because that's what I should have been doing all along." The video ends. He posts it. Then he closes the app. He doesn't look at the comments. Not yet. The video goes viral. Again. But this time, it's different. Some people mock him. Fake apology. Damage control. Too little too late. But others see it differently. This is genuine. He's actually changed. Everyone deserves a second chance. The video gets 8 million views in 3 days. News outlets cover it. People debate it. Some defend him. Some condemn him. But in the end, it doesn't matter what strangers think. What matters is what Brendan does next. He completes his 300 hours. Mrs. Martinez signs his completion form. You did well, she tells him. Better than I expected. Thank you for teaching me. I didn't teach you. The kids did. They showed you what matters. On the day of his final court appearance, Brendan walks into the same courtroom. He's different now. His hair is no longer platinum. It's his natural brown. He's not wearing designer clothes. Just a button-up shirt and khakis. No jewelry. No watch. Just him. Judge Caprio looks up from his papers. Mr. Whitmore. Good to see you. Your Honor. I've reviewed your probation reports. Your community service logs. Your letters. Your video. Tell me, what did you learn? Brendan takes a moment. I learned that privilege isn't something to brag about. It's something to be grateful for. Something to use responsibly. I learned that followers don't make you important. Actions do. I learned that time is the most valuable thing we have. And I almost took that from 3 kids. 3 families. I'll never forgive myself for that. But I can try to do better. Judge Caprio nods. Your probation officer says you've completed all requirements ahead of schedule. Your community service supervisor says the kids ask about you. They miss you. That says a lot. They taught me more than I taught them. Good. Judge Caprio looks at his notes. Based on your performance and completion of all court order requirements, I'm releasing you from supervised probation. However, you'll remain on unsupervised probation for the remainder of your 2-year term. Your license suspension stands until the full year is complete. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Whitmore, I want to tell you something. When you stood in this courtroom 8 months ago, I saw a child. An entitled, arrogant child. Today I see a young man. Someone who made terrible mistakes, but chose to learn from them. That's growth. That's what justice is supposed to create. Not just punishment. Growth. Brendan's eyes water. Thank you, Your Honor, for holding me accountable. For not letting me get away with it. You changed my life. Judge Caprio smiles. I didn't change your life. You did. I just gave you the push. Now go use what you've learned. Help others. Be better. Don't make me see you in this courtroom again. You won't, Your Honor. I promise. I believe you. Case dismissed. Brendan walks out of the courthouse. His parents are waiting. His mother hugs him. His father shakes his hand. I'm proud of you, his dad says. Not for what you did, but for how you handled the consequences. Thanks, Dad. 6 months later, Brendan is back at Roger Williams Elementary. But he's not there for community service. He's there as a volunteer speaker. He stands in front of a classroom of 5th graders. Mrs. Martinez introduces him. Class, this is Mr. Whitmore. He used to be a crossing guard here. Now he's going to talk to you about making good choices. Brendan smiles at the kids. He sees Emma in the front row. She waves. Hi, everyone. I'm here to tell you a story about the worst mistake I ever made and what I learned from it. He tells them everything. The speeding, the red light, the almost accident, the jail time, the community service. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't make himself a hero. He tells the truth. I hurt people with my choices. I could have hurt them worse. And I learned something important. Every choice matters. What you do today affects tomorrow. How you treat people matters. Following rules matters. Not because you'll get in trouble if you don't, but because other people's lives depend on it. A kid raises his hand. Do you still have 3 million followers? Brendan laughs. No, I have about 800,000 now. Most people unfollowed me. And that's okay. Because the people who stayed are there for the right reasons. They want to see me be better. Not just look cool. Another kid asks, do you miss your fancy car? Sometimes. But you know what I don't miss? I don't miss being the person who drove it like an idiot. I take the bus now. I walk. I ride my bike. And I see things I never noticed before. People. Neighborhoods. Life. When you're going 87 miles per hour, you don't see anything. You just go fast. The class is quiet. Then Emma raises her hand. Yes, Emma. Are you glad you got in trouble? Brendan thinks about this. Really thinks. Yeah, I am. Because if I hadn't, I'd still be that person. The person who thought he was better than everyone. I'd probably have hurt someone eventually. Maybe killed someone. So yeah, I'm glad. Because getting in trouble saved me. And maybe it saved someone else too. The bell rings. The kids pack up. As they leave, several of them thank Brendan. A few ask for selfies. He takes them. But he also makes sure to talk to each kid. To ask their names. To remind them to be safe. Mrs. Martinez walks him out. That was good. You should do more of these. I want to. I'm working with the school district. Trying to set up a program. Teen drivers talking to younger kids about safety. Using my story as a cautionary tale. That's wonderful. They reach the parking lot. Or in Brendan's case, the bike rack. No license yet. Mrs. Martinez asks. 3 more weeks. But honestly, I'm not rushing back. I kind of like the bike. She laughs. The old Brendan would never say that. The old Brendan was an idiot. Yes, he was. But the new Brendan? He's going to be okay. Brendan rides home. The wind is cold. His legs are tired. But he feels good. Better than he's felt in years. Because for the first time in his life, he's not performing. He's not creating content. He's not chasing likes. He's just living. And that's enough. That night, he posts a photo on Instagram. It's not a perfect photo. No filters. No professional editing. Just him on his bike. Helmet on. Smiling. The caption reads, 3 more weeks until I get my license back. And I've learned that getting somewhere fast isn't as important as arriving safely. To everyone who stuck with me through this journey, thank you. To everyone I let down, I'm sorry. I'm still learning. Still growing. But I'm trying. And that's all any of us can do. The post gets 127,000 likes. Not millions, but enough. More importantly, the comments are kind. Proud of you, man. This is real growth. You've inspired me to slow down. Brendan reads each comment. He responds to some. Then he closes the app. He has homework. He enrolled in community college. Criminal justice. He wants to work with at-risk youth. Kids who are making the same mistakes he made. He wants to help them change before it's too late. Back in Providence Municipal Court, Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers. He's reviewing case files. There are always more cases. More people needing justice. Needing mercy. Needing wisdom. His clerk knocks. Your Honor, there's a package for you. Bring it in. The clerk hands him a small box. Judge Caprio opens it. Inside is a handwritten note. Your Honor, I wanted to send you this as a thank you. It's a photo of me with the kids at Roger Williams Elementary. I volunteer there now. Teaching safety. Helping out. Trying to give back. You held me accountable when no one else would. You saw past the money and the followers and treated me like everyone else. You gave me consequences. But you also gave me a chance. Thank you for changing my life. Respectfully, Brendan Whitmore. Judge Caprio looks at the photo. Brendan is surrounded by kids. They're all smiling. Emma is giving him a high five. The judge smiles. He puts the photo on his desk, next to pictures of his own grandchildren, because this is why he does this job. Not for the cases that end with jail time, but for the cases that end with growth, with redemption, with second chances that are earned, not given. He picks up the next file. Another case. Another person who needs justice. And Judge Frank Caprio is ready. Because in his courtroom, everyone is equal. Rich or poor. Famous or unknown. Everyone gets the same thing. The truth. Accountability. And if they're willing to learn, a chance to be better. That's justice. What this case teaches us. Money can buy many things. Cars. Clothes. Watches. Followers. Attention. But it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Brendan Whitmore came into that courtroom thinking he was above the law. He left in handcuffs. But more importantly, he left with a lesson. A lesson about privilege. About responsibility. About the weight of our choices. Every day we make decisions. Some big. Some small. Do we speed to save 5 minutes? Do we text while driving? Do we think rules don't apply to us? Do we treat people with respect or contempt? These choices matter. They shape who we are. They affect others. They create consequences. Brendan's story could have ended differently. He could have killed 3 children. He could have destroyed 3 families. He could have ruined his own life beyond repair. But because Judge Caprio held him accountable, because Mrs. Martinez gave him a chance to learn, because he chose to grow instead of fight, he became better. We all make mistakes. The question is, what do we do after? Do we make excuses? Blame others? Double down on our bad behavior? Or do we own it? Learn from it? Change? The answer to that question determines everything. Justice isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about education, about showing someone the impact of their actions, about giving them tools to be better, about holding them accountable while also believing they can change. That's what Judge Frank Caprio does every day. He sees people at their worst, and he gives them a chance to become their best. The gavel falls. The case closes. But the lesson remains. Be humble. Be careful. Be kind. Treat others with respect. Follow the rules. Think about consequences. Value life over convenience. Use your privilege to lift others up, not put them down. Because in the end, we're all equal. In the courtroom. In the crosswalk. In life. And that's the way it should be.